Record it after.
I think this is by default.
Or timing stop. Second button is pause button.
Good afternoon, everyone. Are you able to hear us? I see there are 3 people who have joined the call. Yashasvi, Osama, and by the name of Transcript. Are you able to hear us?
Yes, we can hear you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Could we have a brief introduction on who's there on the call? Mr. Osama, which company are you representing? Or you from the investor community?
I'm from Obar Capital.
Sorry?
Obar Capital.
Okay. Thank you. Yashasvi? Yashasvi, are you able to hear me? Could you unmute yourself and introduce, please? There's another joining by the name of Transcript. Are you able to hear me? Welcome, Said Gawas. Are you able to hear me? Could you unmute yourself? Said Gawas, are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Wonderful. Who do you represent, Said?
Obar Capital.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So I think we are audible. We'll just wait for 1 more minute to let more people, if any, are joining.
Okay, cool.
Okay, we'll start the presentation. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out to join us today for this investor presentation. My name is Nalin Channa. I'm the ex-CEO of a national gas company, and I continue to be as the advisor to the board for some time. I am joined here with, on my right, Mr. Hussam Ali Al-Najar. He is the sales head of the company. Next to him is Mr. Nasser, the HR and admin head. On my left is the CFO, Dheeraj Sharma, and then next to him is Gada, our compliance officer. Mr. Nasser is also the investor relations officer of the company. So before we take any questions from the investor community, we would want to give a brief presentation, and we'll be happy to kind of address any questions that you may have. Dheeraj would be making the presentation. Dheeraj, please start.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. We'd like to introduce National Gas before we start our discussion on question and answers and other stuff. So, just give us a minute. Just next. Select the dollar. What happened? Sorry. Just hold, give us a moment again. Close it and open it also. Close this application. All the gentlemen facing some issue in moving the slides, we are just closing this application and resuming it again. Shall we start?
Apologies, we have some technical glitch. Is the phone still on? Yeah, our sincere apologies. I think technology fails us always at the right time, or should I say the wrong time? Just bear with us, please.
I'm presenting it.
Are you able to see our screen? If you can confirm. If anybody on the call can confirm if they can see the screen. Am I audible to you all?
And you can see the screen with agenda.
Yes, we see. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. So, apologies again for this small hiccup. We'll resume our session now.
Yeah.
Neeraj.
So, as mentioned in this agenda item, we will take you through the national gas introduction, starting with mission, management, which are already been detailed, historical evaluation, products and services. Then we will talk about certain market condition challenges we face, new initiative we have taken. And post that, we will talk about certain updates, what we have concluded strategic initiative during this quarter. Before
Sorry,
reaching the
but
financial performance.
it's still stuck in the first page.
Yeah, we are not moving. We have not changed this slide yet.
Okay, it's fine. Sorry.
And then we will take your question and answer session. So, talking about this company, National Gas, as you are all aware, that it's a joint stock company and is into marketing and distribution of LPG. Along with that, we also do and execute LPG, SNG related project work. We are into the. We also have our niche specialty products based on the source of the LPG itself, and we are also the authorized distributor of lubricants of HP India in the region of Oman. The company was incorporated in 1979, understanding the requirement of LPG for the consumers and distributors here in companies here in Oman. Although the company was incorporated in 1979, it started its operations in 1981 by setting up a first bottling plant And today we have spread our wings over the entire company and have more than six strategically located plants, and we are on to take 40, around 40% of the market share. So, and National Gas is an energy company. It is committed to enhance the quality of life by providing energy solutions that help fuel and fulfill the aspiration of consumers everywhere in Oman as well as outside Oman. As eminent from our nature of operations, we are envisioned being the #1 multi-regional specialty LPG company. And we pursue it through the innovative technology and path to deliver the superior energy products to our consumer and thereby training their customer demand. That is what is reflected in our vision and mission statement. Going back to the history, as mentioned, we have our incorporated in 1979, we began our operations in 1981. By 2001, we had grown up by another 5 plants, so we were 6 plants set up over the period of 20 years in different geographies of Oman. In 2005, we started a new product called aerosol. The production was commenced and the sale and distribution started from 2005, which still we are continuing. In 2008, we had set up first SNG plant in the region, which definitely is spreading more over the years. In 2010, we had set up our operations in UAE, which had given us good profits and margin over the years. Malaysia, we had acquired the Shell Malaysia LPG distribution business in 2012. And this is one of our strongest arm and investment today out of the all portfolio. KSA in 2015 we had started, although we had started operations in KSA a bit back, but we were handled from Oman. But considering the growth and the potential of the KSA market, from 2015, like in 2015, we had set up our own entity, and we are having a good volume of projects in hand today as the years are passing. From 2016, we had started lubricant division. Today, we are the authorized distributor of lubricants in Oman. In 2018, we had initiated the project for setting up a LPG terminal in southeast coast of India. Just for information, as you might be aware, we are already aware that we, as a strategic investment, we have exited the India territory. And as the profits from the UAE operations with increased competitions are declining over the last few years, majorly post-COVID, where there is no surplus gas available and limited supplies available from Oman, the company has decided to close its UAE operations. Next slide. Apologies again, give us a minute.
Apologies, we are facing issues which we've not faced in the past. So Sorry about that.
Apologies, we will resume this once again. So today, over these years, 4 decades, over 4 decades, National Gas stands and win the customer confidence, as it contributes for over 350,000 metric ton of annual LPG handling capacity from over 10 plants, which includes the Oman, Malaysia, and UAE. In Oman, we have got the largest fleet. We own 22 tankers and over 10 bobtails. We are proud to say that we have got the largest LPG storage facility. More than 2,500 metric ton of LPG storage we can have at any point in time. We are a qualified ISO and QHSE certified company. We are also authorized for tank certification and approval from the fire fighting works from civil department, and which represents that LPG, that National Gas is a pioneer Omani LPG company with a track record of highest safety standards and well trained manpower. We got listed in Muscat Security Exchange in 1989, and we have varied shareholdings, which include financial institutions, government firms, institutions, large network individuals, and others. Before we go and discuss on the market condition, which with the challenges which in general all companies are facing, but specific to the National Gas and the measure we have taken, we would like to inform the shareholders regarding certain strategic initiatives which we have taken. So we have closed few initiatives which were decided earlier to set the company on a solid foundation and for the future growth and expansion. This includes exiting of the JV with Unigas and looking a profit of around Oman, and exiting Indian entity and recognizing a profit of 1.08 million. Also, not so good, but with the increased competition, oversupply of LPG in Oman, and especially the lower growth post-COVID, there is still growth. We had initiated exiting the UAE entities or exiting the UAE operations by liquidating those entities. And after taking that decision, we have evaluated our asset liabilities and have, as per the International Financial Reporting Standard 5, non-current assets held for sale and discontinued operation. We have booked an impairment loss of OMR 1.55. So the challenges which we will discuss that definitely are there in all geographies, but specifically to our line of business in Oman. We are currently into the LPG bottling, whose price is regulated by the market. There have not been change in this price for over 2 decades, 3 decades now, and the LPG supply during the COVID and post that has become surplus. That is the reason that has led into dropping the realizations. Also, with the new or fewer projects, the projects picking up pace post-COVID, but we have seen that there is slowdown in the engineering-related project, which we assume that they will come up in the coming time. The other challenge is that we have seen and reported by our distributors that the companies are practicing filling of an expired cylinder, underfilling, but we stick to our standards and we don't do what is not right. So this is something a limiting factor for assuming further growth in the LPG distribution or a bottling facility. Project business, as we mentioned, has slowed down post-COVID, and it has become more capital intensive, with ROI becoming declining over the period. Now, earlier there was LPG available for exports from Oman, which has been restricted, resulting in that there is a limited arbitrage available in the UAE, and that is the reason that one of the reasons that we have decided to exit LPG operations in the UAE. Well, the balance sheet with the Indian project when we had initiated, the balance sheet was over leveraged, but with which now has come down to a reasonable level. So these all things have over the period started reducing the operating burden, although we have shown growth in overall LPG supplies during this year as compared to the last year. But the contribution which was declining is something a challenge to recover all overheads and finance costs, depreciation, resulting into an active result which are posted during this quarter. Although we are continuously appraising these situations and putting all required initiatives to counter them, we have been continuously engaged with the government authorities. We are pushing cylinder sales to shift product mix from low margin to high bulk margin. So wherever there are possibilities, we are swapping the composition of customers to ensure that higher realizations and higher margins are basically posted. We are continuously in engagement with MOCIP and PACP to bring out the unethical market practice, which we showed as challenges. We definitely are taking focus on our procurement and continuously looking out for subcontracting arrangement for these vendors, or looking out for alternate sources for the material in projects so that we can provide cheaper solutions and effective solutions, giving benefit both to the customer and bringing high margin to us. As we mentioned, we have completed India disinvestment as well as Unigas investment. Both have now been completed, and the funds received from these investments have been used to deleverage our financial cost as well as the financial burden. UAE winding up process is ongoing. We expect that we should be in position to complete the whole activity by first quarter of 2023. And we have a continuous focus on expense realization, limited use of additional capex, and continuous focus on the essentials in this interim period, so that we have a very limited cash outlays. Only if they require and essentials are being spent upon. These are the financial highlights which for past few years as well as for the period 9-month period September 2022 and the comparative with September 2021. On the top are the consolidated results, and the lower section talks about the national gas in Oman operations. So, would you like to further add to these discussions?
I think that's it, and we'll be happy to address any questions. Anything you want to add on the market conditions? So, as Neeraj mentioned, the market conditions are tough. I think the biggest initiative that the company has been working for, unfortunately, quite a few years, and we haven't had any headway, but that is the engagement with the government, which has actually quite gone aggressive since the last couple of years, and especially after COVID, we have kind of re-initiated that process. because I think pricing for the cylinders has not been revised for like more than 3 decades now. So that is something which is important. If we see any other utility costs, fuel costs, everything has been increasing, but LPG costs have not been, prices have not been increasing. And that's the major reason that we are facing a lot of challenges. Though the sales team is pushing the quantities higher than what we are doing year on year, we are not able to bring it to a bottom line level. So that is one big initiative that we are doing. Parallelly, as Dheeraj mentioned, there are a lot of expense rationalization that are being worked upon, which will be reflected in the budget 2023. We are also seeing that we have maintained our plants perfectly well, and they are in a very good working condition. Though from a depreciation standpoint, we'll see the depreciation costs start coming down from next year onwards. So that is another advantage that we will be seeing to the bottom line. As you see, the finance cost will now reduce because you would have seen in the September balance sheet, the loans have come down. So the effect of that will start showing from this quarter. So the finance cost for this quarter will be much lower than what historically we've been seeing in the last couple of years or so. So that's another positive that is going to come in. And then obviously the UAE winding up process, which is ongoing. So most part of our consolidated loss recently was due to the UAE losses, which will stop getting consolidated. So I think that is all positive that we have kind of taken initiatives in the last 3-4 months. And these should start showing results from January 1, 2023 onwards. But happy to take any specific questions.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you very much for hosting this conference call. My name is Aisha Zia. I'm the head of research at Oman Capital. I would like to understand a few things. First, I'd like to understand the overall strategy that the company has embarked upon. I see that there is divestments going on, and the company is focusing on its core business, which is LPG production and sale. If you could just elaborate on how the government policies are affecting the company. Where is the company sourcing gas from? So do you have any kind of contracts with the government where some subsidies provided to you or something of that? If you can just explain the nature of the business to me a little bit, and then if you can speak a little bit about the Malaysian subsidiary and whether there's going to be an IPO for it or not.
Yeah. So I think as you may be aware, we are in the regulated industry space so far as we are concerned in the Oman market. The purchase price that we get the gas from the government is fixed, and the selling price that we sell to our distributors is fixed. As a bottling company, we are not allowed to go and do end-to-end distribution to customers and to retailers. So we have to go through the distributor only. That's our final point of sale. So that price has been determined by the government, and that price was fixed like more than 3 decades ago. From a sourcing standpoint, all our sourcing is within the country. There's no import of LPG as such because LPG is available in abundance in the country. Our major sources are OQ and to an extent PDO, but that quantity has rapidly declined over the recent years. And in terms of the purchase price, we had a lower prices earlier, but I think in the last 2-3 years, 3 years back, I think all the prices have been, so the PDO was a differential pricing and OQ was a differential pricing, but both the prices have been now made same. PDO price, which was lower, has been brought up to OQ levels. So our purchase price increased, but there was no respite so far as the sale price is concerned. So that is one major aspect that has been challenging us. And for this reason, we have been kind of engaging with the government to come out with new rules. The other thing that we are pushing with the government, apart from pricing, is branding of cylinders. As you would have seen in other markets, each bottling company has a different color of cylinders so that it is an easy identification. And when it comes to identifying expiry cylinders or replacement of cylinders, it is very easy because you know your cylinders. Unfortunately, in Oman, all the companies are having the same silver colored cylinders. Sorry? Yeah. So that has been a challenge. So branding is another thing that we have been pushing in. So we believe that with branding coming in, there'll be a lot of discipline in the market with the scrupulous players who are currently resorting to underfilling of cylinders, filling of expiry cylinders, overloading of vehicles. Those people would be tremendously discouraged because then the cylinder would be outrightly identifiable. So those are the things that we have been pushing. And yeah, so that is where the Oman market is. Talking about Malaysia, Malaysian subsidiary has been doing good. In fact, during COVID also, though the results were much below expectations, but we didn't go into a loss. We were still making profits. The market has been bouncing back, though not with the great speed as we had expected, but things have been improving. And this year we are trying to get a dividend also from Malaysia to come in at the end of the quarter. So that is something which we are working on. There is no immediate plan of an IPO because I think the markets are not right in that region to kind of go for an IPO. So that is something which I'll not be able to really comment upon, and we'll have to see how 2023 shapes up. I hope that addresses your questions.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much. I'd also like to just understand that, how come when the purchase price was increased, how come the selling price was not increased?
That is unfortunately an answer I don't have. And that is what we have been pushing with the government. Few things are beyond our control, and that's where we are struggling at the moment.
Okay. Is there like a target ROE, or let's say target debt to EBITDA, net debt to EBITDA kind of a working that you have, let's say over the next 3 years or over the next 5 years? Do you have that kind of a strategy?
So, I mean, we've not specifically put percentages around it, but I think from a consolidation standpoint, we've seen 2022 as a year of consolidation, where we were facing challenges with respect to working capital. COVID came in, so our liquidity situation was getting tough. The greenfield construction was wanting a lot of money to go from here. So I think all those things came in along with the pandemic was apparently a wrong timing. So I think that's where we took a call that this year we would see it as a year of consolidation. And then next year we would kind of come in and start looking at expansion. Earlier also, when we had embarked on this India project, similar to the Malaysia venture, when we had gone into Malaysia, we had borrowed from the bank here and had injected equity from our side. Subsequently, we had come out with a rights issue, and then we had paid the bank loan. And that was the intent this time also. But I think the timing didn't go well with us, with the pandemic coming in. The major shareholders that we met and I reached out to felt that they were not ready for a rights issue at this moment. So that's the reason we were feeling a pinch on our profits. So that's when we decided that let's exit the venture at the moment, and the exit was also at a profit. And if you recall, when we had brought in a JV partner 2 years back, then also we had brought them at a profit. So all in all, we thought that, obviously there is no end to how much profit we would want to make. But in the current situation, we felt that we made a profit when we got the JV partner, and we are making a profit when we are exiting the venture. So that's what it is. And then we kind of took that call and exited this venture. And then I think as of today, when I speak, my balance sheet is much more stronger, and I have lesser stress on the bank payouts.
That's good to know. Is there some kind of a timeline on when you expect the selling price to be revised?
Unfortunately, I cannot put that, but the recent meetings that we've had at the ministerial level indicate that a lot of work is happening at the ministerial level, and I'm hopeful that it should happen early 2023.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else would want to ask anything?
Hi, Nalin. And team, Good afternoon. Thank you for the presentation. This is Joyce from United Securities. Nalin, I have a follow-up question to what Aisha was asking. You talked about
Can you
branding.
be a bit louder, please? I'm not able to hear you properly.
Am I audible now?
Yes, better.
Nalin, my question is primarily a follow-up question, and you talked about branding of the cylinders, but branding of the cylinders, isn't it something that the company itself can do? What are the reasons that are preventing you from branding your own cylinders?
Yes, so at the moment, the government doesn't have any guidelines on branding because there are a lot of things that has to be done. There has to be a specific color allocated, a unique color allocated to each and every company. Then they have to be painted in the right way. The logos have to be put in. It entails a lot of cost as well. So if I go ahead and start doing it, I'll be incurring cost with no return coming in because the sale price is already fixed. Yeah. So I think we need the blessings of the ministry to start with, though the allocation of colors has been done by the ministry. So that also gives us some indication on the branding rules coming in soon. So I think that is some progress there.
Okay, got it. And what are the expansion opportunities that probably you'll be seeing right now, going forward? You just mentioned that this may be a year of consolidation and you will be looking at expansion next year. We just exited one of, to me personally, that was a good opportunity, probably because of, unfortunately, we may not have enough cash to invest it. So that's the reason why we exited. But what are the other opportunities that you are seeing in the market? Is it in Oman or is it somewhere outside?
Right. I think Oman definitely, with the pricing branding rules changing, the scenario would significantly improve. So that is one thing that we'll keep on pushing. As we all are aware that the market is small, it's a low population country, so there is only a limit beyond which we don't foresee our business to kind of grow exponentially. But yes, Saudi Arabia market, we have got a very good project pipeline, and we are working on strengthening the team there, putting in more resources, whether it is cash, whether it is people. So that is happening to kind of strengthen that market. I think LPG as such would continue to be in high demand in countries in Africa and Asia in the next decade or so. So I think those opportunities are open. There could be opportunities. There have been few initial studies that we have initiated on the east coast of Africa that we are looking at. There is always potential of going back to India. India still needs a lot of terminals. So maybe we have exited this one, but nothing is stopping us from kind of going into the market again. And then even our Malaysian subsidiary is actually looking at expansion plans in the region. There are markets like Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, where there is a potential of expanding into the LPG space. But I think there are many opportunities. As of now, I may not be able to comment anything specific, but yes, eyes and ears are open to look at those kind of opportunities.
So this Saudi opportunity, which your Saudi operations are, isn't it commercial operations or is it in LPG operations?
At the moment, it is more of engineering division because the Saudi government doesn't permit LPG distribution to any private company. It's a prerogative of Gasco, which is the government of Saudi Arabia company. But again, there for the last 2 years, again, partly the pandemic is to be blamed. The rules are under formulation by the Ministry of Energy there. And there is a high likelihood that they are opening up the LPG distribution to private players. So with our presence already in the country, I think we are quite geared up to harp in on that opportunity. And whenever it opens up, we would want to get into the LPG distribution space in Saudi. And as we all know, it's a high potential market.
Okay, got it. And when it comes to expansion, the concern that I have is probably, are we looking at the right timing for expansion? Everywhere except Oman, the interest rate is rising. Fortunately, we are relatively protected here in the market. But everywhere else we are seeing the cost of equity is going up, and the cost of borrowing also is going up significantly, and liquidity gets dried up. So how do you think that you will be able to finance these projects, especially given the fact that we have limited opportunities for bringing in new funds?
I see there are two possibilities here. One is that obviously when we start from the due diligence right up to the side that we are a stage that we are ready to kind of put in money, it would be about at least 3 to 9 months. So that is something which we'll have to start working on now, even if we see that the interest costs are rising. But I think the advantage with the Middle Eastern currencies is that we are pegged to the dollar. So dollar borrowings, and if we are to kind of continue dollar leverage, then it may not be a bad idea.
Okay. And then I just want to come back to the pricing. The pricing, we've been talking about this pricing, and we've been lobbying, all the companies have been lobbying with the ministry for price increases for quite a long period of time. Maybe, probably maybe last 10 years we've been trying for that, but there is no response from the ministry. So, but it looks like, you're very confident in this time. You're sounding very confident in this time that there could be a price change. What has really changed during this period, and what makes you optimistic about being the prices change? Especially now the government is trying to reduce the effect of inflation and everything on the common people.
Right. I think the efforts were always in the right direction. And I believe that in the past 3 years or so, we should have had the new rules coming in. Unfortunately, these events that came up, unfortunately, our earlier HM passed away, the new HM came in and started settling in, and at the same time, COVID came in. So I think there were quite a few factors which were really beyond anyone's control. Post-COVID, when the meetings again started at the ministerial level, we have actually gotten, our board members have personally met the ministers. I also had an opportunity to join the chairman and meet the minister in person a couple of months back or 3 months back. So I think those meetings have really given us some confidence that yes, the ministry is giving an active ear to what our concerns are, and they are looking at coming out with the right rules. Again, what the announcements would be, it's anybody's guess at this stage. But I think from our side, we have put in all our representations on what kind of problems we are facing. And I think they are appreciating the issues. I will tell you something now, why I am so much pushy about the pricing is because, and especially for listed company, it is all the more important because generally, as a listed company, we've got a much stronger corporate governance mechanism in place. We would not want to kind of do anything against the values of the organization. Again, there's no blame on any particular company as such, but general practice is that people want to underfill cylinders, save that gas, and push it out into the market, into bulk, or use that gas as a free gas. I mean, it's actually not costing them anything, but it is eventually generating the same revenue for them. So even if the sale price is still less, but if for a free gas, even that less sale price brings contribution to them. So that's where our challenges have been. And again, you're right that we've been talking about this year on year, quarter on quarter. But again, I mean, there's really little that we can help around that.
Okay, thank you. And my final question is, what are your thoughts on consolidation in the gas distribution segment in Oman? Primarily because the market is very much fragmented. So what are your thoughts, and would you be considering any potential consolidation opportunities? Are you considering that?
Yes, ideally there should be, because I think there are about 20-25 players in the market. For a small country like Oman, 25 is too high a number. So definitely an opportunity of consolidation. But I think the way the licenses have been issued recently, we'll see sometime how the ministry sees these kind of consolidations, because it should not be seen by them as larger companies kind of again making monopolistic moves. So that is not the intent, but I think the market does need consolidation.
Okay, So just for clarification, so does that mean the government is still issuing new licenses for gas distribution to new players?
Yeah, I mean, we don't really keep track of it because we are not privy to that. But yeah, from market knowledge, we do understand that there are quite a few players who recently got licenses. Now, whether that process is still on, closed, some licenses withdrawn or not, those are again ministerial prerogative.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, and wish you all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much. Anybody else would want to understand anything, any question? In case there are no further questions, we would end this session. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You all have a good week ahead. Thank you.